In a peaceful village nestled gently between soft green hills and wide open fields, there lived an elderly woman named Omma. Her tiny cottage stood quietly at the very edge of the village, as if guarding the place where human life met the whispering world of nature. A crooked wooden fence surrounded her home, creaking softly whenever the wind passed through it. A tall mango tree shaded half the garden, dropping the sweet smell of ripe fruit during the hot months. Omma had no children of her own, and her husband had passed away many years ago. Yet she was never truly lonely, because she had Chicky. Chicky was no ordinary hen. She was round, fluffy, and proudly brown with a small white patch on her chest shaped like a crooked little heart. She followed Omma everywhere, into the garden, to the well, along the village path, clucking softly as if sharing every secret she had seen that day. Villagers often smiled when they saw the two of them, Omma walking slowly with her wooden cane, and Chicky waddling behind her like a loyal little shadow. Every morning, as dawn painted the sky in orange, pink, and gold, Chicky laid one perfect egg. Omma would collect it gently in her wrinkled hands and whisper, "One is enough, my dear. May we always have just what we need." She boiled the egg, ate half for breakfast, and saved the other half for lunch. She grew her own vegetables, spun her own yarn, and lived a life with a simple rhythm, steady, peaceful, and full of quiet joy. One morning, something unusual happened. When Omma reached into the nesting basket, she found not one but 2 eggs. She blinked, surprised. "Two," she whispered softly. "Well now, that's generous." That day, she cooked 1 egg and took the second to the market. She didn't ask for much, just enough to buy a handful of rice and a small piece of jaggery that glowed golden under the sunlight. The next day, again, there were 2 eggs. And the next. And the next. Soon the villagers noticed. "Sell both eggs, Omma," one man said. "You should feed Chicky more. Maybe she'll give you 3. Said another. "Why stop here? You could buy 10 hens. Start a business," a woman suggested. But Omma only smiled, her eyes gentle and full of something they couldn't quite understand. "One for me, one to share. That's enough," she said softly. She gave the extra eggs to a poor neighbor whose children often slept hungry. To school children passing by on their way to class. Sometimes she quietly left an egg on someone's doorstep, without ever saying who had placed it there. The villagers began calling her Egg Omma, with affection. Then came the monsoon. Rain poured for days without stopping. The river overflowed, spilling onto fields and washing away the green rice that had grown tall and proud. Houses leaked. Firewood soaked. Cattle shivered in the cold wind. And many hens in the village stopped laying eggs. Except for Chicky. Calm. Faithful. Steady as the sunrise. 1 egg in the morning. 1 in the evening. Because Omma had saved many eggs she didn't need, she had boiled them, pickled them, stored them safely in jars. And now, when others were hungry, she shared those eggs quietly. She pressed an egg into the hands of a starving child. She left small baskets on doorsteps. She whispered, "Take, eat, be well." One evening, when the rain had softened and the sky looked like bruised purple clouds drifting slowly, a group of villagers came to her cottage. "Amma," the village headman said, "why didn't you sell more when you had the chance? Why didn't you buy more hens? You could have been rich. You should have chased more while you could," another woman added. "Now everyone is struggling." Amma looked up at them. Her eyes, tired but warm, held no anger. "Because sometimes having more isn't about chasing more," she said softly. "It's about loving what you already have, and sharing it when the time comes." She looked down at Chicky, who nestled peacefully against her feet. "I took only what I needed," Amma continued. "The rest was a gift meant to be shared. If I had chased more, maybe I would have lost what mattered most." A deep silence settled over the villagers. Because they knew, deep down, that her words carried a truth they had forgotten. In the weeks that followed, villagers helped repair Amma's fence, clear her garden, and bring her dry firewood. And slowly, their hearts began to change. The poor family she helped shared their last potatoes with her. The schoolchildren left small flowers at her gate. A farmer sent her fresh milk every week. The blacksmith fixed her cane without charge. The potter made her a new clay jar. Not because Amma asked, but because kindness, when given freely, grows on its own. It returns. It multiplies. One night during the peak of the monsoon, Amma heard a soft tapping sound, tiny and rhythmic. When she checked Chicky's basket, she gasped. One of the older eggs she had forgotten to use had a small crack. Then another. Then another. Tap. 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 Suddenly. Peep. A tiny beak poked through the shell. Then a fluffy head. Then two small wings. A baby chick emerged, weak but determined. Then another egg cracked. And another. By morning, 5 tiny chicks were hopping around Chicky, peeping loudly with their bright new voices. Amma laughed. A sound full of pure, innocent joy. Maybe this was why Chicky had begun laying more eggs. Maybe life had its own rhythm, its own secret timing. After the monsoon passed, the fields slowly turned green again. The river shrank back into its bed. The sun warmed the earth. The village healed, but something had changed forever. People had learned to share, to help, to look out for each other. Whenever someone talked about generosity or kindness, they would smile and say, "Remember what Amma taught us. True abundance is not in taking, but in sharing." True abundance comes not from taking all you can, but from caring for what you have and giving it with love. Contentment is quiet. It grows slow, steady roots. But those roots can weather any storm.